Doug. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm fine. And yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining i5 TV.
Of course, of course.
Great, great. I've seen some of your work. Oh my goodness. We're about to get into this. This is going to be a fantastic interview right here. So, who is Black Anton?
Black Adam. Basically, I was born out of Columbia, South Carolina. I lived here until I was about 10 years old. Me and my family moved down to Miami. And I kind of spent the earlier years of my life not really focusing on art, but on music. I was doing music beforehand. And it wasn't until I kind of got out of that whole high school situation, came back here, graduated, and kind of shifted. Like, I had a lot of friends back in Florida that was doing music / art, and I used to do graphic design on myself, like for my music promotion wise and stuff like that. So I decided I could go to school for graphic design and kind of focus on music on the side. And as a result, I got my degree in graphic design. And when I did that, things just kind of took off from there, and I started doing side work, freelance work, and just kind of fell into the whole comic business.
Wow. Okay, so what made you come up with that name, Black Anton?
Basically, in one of my classes, I was in Midlands Tech chemistry class, and they were going over atoms. So I was in class sketching as I always do, and I'm a black artist. You know, there's very few and far in between. We don't get the recognition, so I decided, like, I definitely wanted to have that in one of my titles. That had to be black there. And then Adams, my teacher was saying something interesting one day, and they said they make up everything. So Black Adam, you know, being very creative with that one.
Mm-hmm. So what is his purpose?
My purpose at this point, like I said, I started to do music very early on, and somehow I got twisted up in the world of comics and sequential art and just trying to put out imagery and prints. So I want to focus on combining the two, my love of hip-hop and my love of artwork, anime, and just kind of bridge the gap between two different medias.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what motivates you to do artwork?
The biggest thing that motivates me is whenever I go to a convention, a comic convention, the faces of the kids, like, those are the biggest I guess inspirations to me, because I just recently got into doing the art. You know, I've been doing that for maybe 5 or 6 years, but to see kids that look at it and that's something that they want to get into, they adore that, you know, that's what they do in their pastimes, I kind of do it for them at this point.
Okay, so like what ages do you work with?
Any and all age. If you're old enough to hold a pencil or crayon, like, I will gladly lend my time to you so we can get together and put some art out.
Okay, and you say you've been doing art for...
It's been about, I'll give it a good 5, 6 years maybe. And it started out with me and some of my friends, Sentinel Sheep Studios, Jake Williams, Brian Hollins. Those were kind of my mentors, and we kind of got together, and we each have different aspects of art that we kind of focus on. So we put our collective brains and thoughts together, and we build upon that.
Okay, okay. So do you have any formal training in this art industry?
Aside from my degree at Midlands Tech, no. Everything for me was self-taught, and getting with other talented artists where we just, like I said, we put our thoughts together. We have art sessions where we get together and we kind of just give input and critique on, you know, certain techniques and strategies, and then we just go from there and do what we can do creatively.
Oh, okay. So what made you get into this art field? Like, what pushed you? What was your drive?
The biggest push was one of my friends back in Florida, a classmate of mine. He was developing a video game, and he knew that I liked to sketch and doodle here and there. So he was the biggest push and inspiration to me. I was already going to school for graphic design, so what I did with that was I kind of used my knowledge of different software, and I was able to do digital art that way. I still draw, and I still do traditional means with pencils and pens, but once I'm done with that, I scan everything into the computer and I apply my colors and different techniques through the computer.
Oh, wow.
So I kind of like use those two things. His pushing, because he definitely pushed me out the window with that one, and I used my skills and knowledge that I already had, and I kind of coupled it together.
Okay. So what kind of software do you use? Do you use Mac? 'Cause Mac is really big when it comes to the graphic world.
Definitely MacBooks, but only when I'm in school because they're so expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I'm definitely PC at home, and I'm majority of the time tablets. Like I'm really big on the. Right now I'm using the Galaxy Tab 1, and that's where I do majority of my artwork.
Oh, okay, that sounds creative. So, do you have any published work?
Yeah, I actually worked with Michael Murray for his book Wall Cards. I did a couple of pictures in his poetry book, and I have a couple of projects that's underway right now. I can't really speak much on the name of one of the clients, but I'm working with somebody, and it's going to be a pretty big comic success.
Okay,
Yeah.
so outside of Michael Murray and this other person without a name, do you have any other projects going on at this moment?
Yes, I am working with Jamal Miller for her Signifying Monkey. My studio, Sentinel Sheep Studios, we're working on X-Torn, Lethal Force, and we have a couple of different clients out there that we're familiar with, and we're touching base with to get some projects out for them as well.
Okay. So about your artwork being distributed and marketed, how is it sold?
I would say the main form of distribution at this point is definitely comic book conventions. As a independent artist and affiliate of Sentinel Sheep Studios, we kind of travel up and down the East Coast at this point. We hit every main convention we can. We sell our prints, T-shirts, posters, banners, whatever we can for a very affordable price.
Okay, wow, okay. I'm going to have to keep in touch with you
Oh, yeah.
on your work. Like I said, I've seen your work. You are amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. I have not seen work like that. Oh my goodness. So now you told me that you worked with Jordan Bay Miller.
Yes.
Okay, tell me more about her program and what you do.
With Miss Miller, I am the artist in residence. Anything that she does that has any kind of creative visual imagery, she comes to me for, and I was fortunate enough to work with her with this last Black History Month event, the Legacy Hut. So I did get a chance to draw a few things for Creative Village and post up some artwork of mine as well as some inspirations of mine and help just bring life to the village altogether.
Okay, sounds like a fantastic project to work on. Okay, so main question, what is your goal? What is your end goal in this art industry?
End goal. As for right now, I'm doing prints, I'm doing comic books, but I definitely want to get into doing animation. Yes, it's a completely different ball game once you start doing animation. You're at that point you're taking still shots and bringing them to life. So once I'm able to create that animated sequence, I want to add hip hop, R&B, and a overall like musical vibe to my pieces.
Oh wow, that's oof. Like I started out in graphics and I kind of left that world, but I mean, oh man, I applaud you big time.
It's very demanding.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And so now tell the world, how can we reach you? All your social contacts?
Pretty much DeviantArt, Facebook, Twitter. It's all going to be Black Adam 89.
All of it?
All of it.
Oh wow,
Very
okay. Okay, that is wonderful. Okay, so you heard that. There's certain ways you can find him. Every way is again
Black Adam 89.
That's great. That's great. I want to thank you for joining the show today.
Yes, ma'am.
You can find his work on Black Adam 89, Twitter, Facebook,
and DeviantArt.
Oh, okay. And you can also find all of his information with i5 The Heat, i5 TV sites. Once again, thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Cox. And you are joining i5 TV. Thank you and good night.